Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here with MGS Coaching Football. For 38 years coaching football, I've either been a defensive, offensive, or special teams coordinator as well as a head coach at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about what we call a circus package blitz, but the reality is it is a basic plug blitz that we tag a word onto that makes it a circus pressure. So it's very, very simple to do is the point, okay? Now for us, again, a tag is a word we put on at the end of the call, right? Tag it on. So here it's what we call Mick. So if you go to my plug family playlist, you'll see how the naming works. But as you can see in the diagram here, all of the positions have different letters, so they all have different names, and that's by design, okay? The M, if any blitz begins with an M, the M's involved, and the M is the Mike. So Mick, Mike inside, which for us in the plug is the A gap. Outside is B gap. Again, see my plug family playlist, okay? So a Mick, here it is. Boom done. I mean, it's Mike and A gap, so the defensive end slanting into B, call side, and the nose is slanting A away. Boom done. So the Rhino, as we call it, Rhino tag, is utilized versus pass. So the nose executes the slant, and if it's a run, he is penetrating, he's reading, reacting to the hip of the guard and all that stuff. Okay, again, go to my rifle package playlist, run line stunts. So the question is obviously then, why would we put Rhino on the call, tag Rhino, and have it versus a pass, the nose drop back into coverage? Okay, and the reality is he's spying the quarterback. Okay, well, there's a few reasons. One would be we have an athletic nose. You're not going to ask a kid, and you might have a kid who's great, just A gap to A gap, but he's Man Mountain Dean and he's not overly athletic or quick. You're not going to ask him to do that. If you have an athletic nose, okay, and I know at the high school level you can get away with a smaller kid and with speed and quickness cause all kinds of problems. Well, that's the type of kid you'd use this with. For us, over the years, we got a kid, as big kid, just as long as they're athletic enough to be able to retrace back to roughly 4 yards and then have the ability to spy a quarterback, that's when we would tag this. Okay, that's one. So you call a Mick as an example in a situation where a team, okay, might be 50-50, 60-40 run pass, maybe even 65-35. And the passes are typically, short three-step packages. That would be a reason, okay? You'd call it when you have an athletic nose and a quarterback is not very patient. So even in a three-step tends to give up on the play and start looking around and is willing to tuck and run with it. That might be a reason. Another good reason would be, excuse me, when you're going to have a team that likes to run crossing routes, we call mesh routes, and they're not necessarily going to be thinking a nose is there. So when the nose is mirroring the quarterback, if the quarterback's looking there, the nose is going to look there, and if he can see a receiver coming across, he's going to try and knock him down. Okay, so we don't utilize this often, which is why when we do call it, it tends to be very effective. Okay, so it's just a simple thing to do. Don't change anything, don't add anything, meaning don't create new blitzes just so you can drop the nose. Tag, whatever you want to call it. But, think Rhino's got the big horn, looks like his nose. That's why we use Rhino for the nose, right? Again, we try and name everything so it's easy to understand and associate. So Rhino is only for the nose, and we only going to tag it on to something we've already put in, the kids already know. And if it's a run, the nose is going to execute his part of the pressure. Okay, so again, it's simple to do. These were the reasons we do it. This is what you need from your nose in terms of skill in order to do it. Again, I wouldn't ask personally, we have not asked our nose to play man coverage on anybody or anything of that sort. I don't know as if that's a fair thing to do. They just don't get to practice it enough. But they can certainly retrace because that's something they do all the time, and then spy a quarterback. That they can do. Okay. So that is our Mick Rhino. Okay. If you want more on the small, go to my Zone Blitz coverage playlist, please. But as always, any questions, reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com, and I'd love to talk football with you.